All right, let's get some more of this tale of Despero and try to figure out what's happening here. Now, it's interesting that if you've ever looked at the front cover of your book, you see this tiny little mouse with really big ears. He has red thread around him, doesn't it? But it's not around his neck. And what does he have? Looks like he has a needle. Just noticing, little observation. All right, we finished with chapter 16. It was kind of eerie, wasn't it? I know, right? Okay, so we are in chapter 17. Chapter 17. Not long after this conversation between Botticelli and Roscaro, a prisoner did arrive. The dungeon doors slammed and the two rats watched a man being led by a king's soldier down the stairs into the dungeon. Excellent, whispered Botticelli. This one's yours. Roscaro looked at the man closely. I will make him suffer, he said. But as he stared up at the man, the door to the dungeon was suddenly flung open and a thick and brilliant shaft of afternoon light cut into the dark of the dungeon. "Ah," said Botticelli, and he covered his eyes with one paw. Roscaro, however, stared directly into the light. Reader, this is important. The rat called, do I remember how to say his name? Hold on, I wrote it down phonetically. Chiaroscuro, who was Roscaro, did not look away. He let the light from the upstairs world enter him and fill him. He gasped aloud with the wonder of it. Give him small comforts, shouted a voice at the top of the stairs, and a red cloth was thrown into the light. The cloth hung suspended for a moment, bright red and glowing, and then the door was slammed shut, and the light disappeared, and the cloth fell to the floor. It was Gregory the jailer who had bent down to pick it up. Go on, said the old man as he held out the cloth to the prisoner. Take it. You'll need every last bit of warmth down here. And so the prisoner took the cloth and draped it around his shoulders as if it were a cloak. And the soldier of the king said, right then, Gregory, he's all yours. And the soldier turned and went back up the steps and opened the door to the outside world, and some small light leaked in before he closed the door behind him. Did you see that? Roscaro said to Botticelli. Hideously ugly, said Botticelli. Ridiculous. What can they possibly mean by letting all that light in at once? Don't they know that this is a dungeon? It was beautiful, Roscaro said. No, said Botticelli. No. He looked at Roscaro intently. Not beautiful. No. I must see more light. I must see all of it, said Roscaro. I must go upstairs. Botticelli sighed. Who cares about the light? Your obsession with this is tiresome. Listen, we are rats. Rats. We do not like light. We are all about darkness. We are about suffering. But, said Roscaro, upstairs, no. No buts, said Botticelli. No buts, none. Rats do not go upstairs. Upstairs is the domain of mice. He took the locket from around his neck. What? He said, swinging it back and forth, back and forth. Is this rope made of whiskers? The whiskers of who? Mice. Exactly. And who lives upstairs? Mice. Exactly. Mice. Botticelli turned his head and spat on the floor. Mice are nothing but little packages of blood and bones, afraid of everything. They are despicable, laughable, the opposite of everything we strive to be. Do you want to live in their world? Roscaro looked up past Botticelli to the delicious sliver of light that had shone out from underneath the door, and he said nothing. Listen, said Botticelli, this is what you should do. Go and torture the prisoner. Go and take the red cloth from him. The cloth will satisfy your craving for something from that world. But do not go up into the light. You will regret it. And as he spoke, the locket swung back and forth, back and forth. You do not belong in that world. You are a rat. A rat. Say it with me. A rat, said Roscaro. Ah, but you are cheating. You must say, I am a rat, said Botticelli, smiling his slow smile at Roscaro. I am a rat, said Roscaro. Again, said Botticelli, swinging his locket. I am a rat. What's the significance of that locket going back and forth? What do you think Botticelli's trying to do with Roscaro? Hypnotize him? Try to brainwash him a little bit? Good point. Exactly, said Botticelli. A rat is a rat is a rat. End of story. World without end. Amen. Yes, said Roscaro. Amen. I am a rat. He closed his eyes. He saw again the red cloth spinning against the backdrop of gold. And he told himself, reader, that it was the cloth that he desired and not the light. It's getting pretty good, isn't it? Kind of dark, that's for sure. Now look, I don't remember if we did the page 15. I'd like to do it with you. It says, my visualization of Gregory. So you're just going to draw a picture. And then if you had 2 questions for Gregory, what might they be? Well, when I was thinking about it, oh, come on, marker, goodness. One question I might ask for Gregory, why do you have to live in the dungeon all day long? Isn't it your job? Can't you just go from 8 to 5 or take the night shift? So my question 1 would be, why do you live in the dungeon? Did I spell it right? Dungeon. G-O-N. I don't think I spelled that right. Oh, I don't think I spelled it right. Let's check it out and make sure I did. You hear the birds? It's Friday. I'm so excited. All right, dungeon. Well, even if I didn't spell it right, you can spell it right, right? D-U-N-G-E-O-N. I swapped my E and my G. That's why it didn't look right. That'd be my first question. Why do you live in the dungeon? What would be a second question? I'm going to let you figure out what you want to write and just write the second question. Draw a picture of someone I'm thinking not very attractive. Would you think he was very attractive if he lived in the dungeon? You think he probably smelled? Oh yeah. Probably hadn't had a haircut or a bath, brushed his teeth anytime soon, right? Okay. So using schema, which is what we had learned previously, is something that we already know that's in our brain, and we're using that to formulate an answer. Using schema to visualize Despero in the dungeon. So they want you to draw a picture of what you think Despero looks like in the dungeon. So there's some things I think of. He's scared. He has that red thread around his neck, right? I would imagine he's probably cold and hungry. Now, is he still with Gregory? That's a good question. So maybe Gregory should be in your picture as well with Despero next to him. We know that there's no light there, none. And so they're wanting you to just explain what you drew. So I would put, I see Despero in a dark place. He's scared, hungry. Would you call Gregory a friend? Well, at present, that's probably the only ally that he has in that dungeon. So maybe you call him an ally instead of a friend. I'm not sure. But give me 3 good sentences describing the picture you draw. All right? And then this one. Write 4 adjectives that describe Botticelli. Now, Botticelli is the mean rat, the one that keeps trying to hypnotize and brainwash Roscaro. What are some things? I don't want you to just use the word mean. Okay, that's a 2nd grade word. All right, so he's not just mean. I think he manipulates situations. I would say he's manipulative. He convinces Roscaro to continue to do wrong and to be evil and to cause suffering. Now, I would use the word evil because that's kind of how I see him, but what do you see him as? He's manipulative, he's evil. What would be another 2 words that would describe him? Determined, that's a good word. He's determined that his whole reason for living is to cause suffering and pain. Determined. You figure out one more word. He's mean. He's just awful. I want you to kind of draw a mean picture, I guess, of him. How do Botticelli's character traits make you feel about him? Yeah, you don't like him too much, do you? No, he's definitely the villain, isn't he? He's the bad guy. He's the enemy. Absolutely. So you'll need to write 2 good sentences as to why you feel the way you do about the character Botticelli. All right? Once you get that done, then you're finished with this reading, and we will continue to move on. Yes.